Okay. So we're going to start with the different types of jobs. Once I move this, got it. There we go. Okay. So we'll start with the different types of jobs, and then we're going to move on to some just different words to have objects, like things. And then I think there is sports at the end. So there are some different sports because that was one we didn't do yet either because that's a small one.
That's right.
So, okay. So the first sign we're going to learn is the sign for work, which also is technically the sign you can use for job. Most of the time, if you're talking about job, like you're like work and job correlate. They're sorry, I saw the cat in the corner of my eye, it distracted me. That's usually just going to use the same sign. If you really need to use the word job, it's fingerspelled. There's no actual sign, but you can use the sign for work in exchange for it. So that is going to be, you're going to have two S's, and you're going to put your dominant, like the base of your palm, on top of your non-dominant, work. And you tap it, work. And this is can be used for, well, I need you to work on this paper. At my work, we do this. So it can change where like some words will change through the verb and the noun. That one will stay consistent. Then the next one we have, now we're in the teachers, the jobs, teachers, the first one. I was going to make the joke of course it's first. So what you're going to do is you're going to do the sign for teach, which is kind of like our hand puppets, and you're going to go teach, and you kind of bounce it back and forth, teach. And so what you'll see, and you'll notice as we do it, is it's going to be teach and then person. So teacher. And this is just the basic sign for person. A lot of times for different types of jobs, if you're talking about, or different types of, like careers, you're going to add that person onto like the sign before word with it. So like for teacher, singer, dancer, you're going to do the sign dance and then person. You'll see as we go on. So the next one we have is librarian, and that is going to be library and then person. Library, person. Then we have artist. So the sign for art is that it's going to be our pinky, and you're going to, it's almost like you're painting on an easel, and you're going to go like make an S on your hand. Art. So you go art, person, artist. Artist. Then we have dancer. So the sign for dance is going to be your palms up. Your non-dominant is going to be in the V, and you're going to go dance. So you go dance, dance, person.
Hey, Gillian.
Yes.
Is the direction that you like, does it matter if your fingers are facing the person or side? Like, basically, am I saying something I shouldn't if I have my hands turned the wrong way?
So thankfully, I don't think you're going to be saying anything bad if you did, but you do want to have it facing them. So is that motion? Because if you look at it, it's like someone's dancing.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
But if you do it this way, I don't think that's going to really make a change.
In context, especially.
But
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. They might just giggle at you looking like you're signing it wrong. All right. Then the next one is singer. So there's two ways you can do it. I see this one more often. The other one I'm not as confident I've seen it like once or twice. So I'm going to show you guys the one I see most, and it's going to be, you're going to do the sign for song, which it's a little hard sitting here. You're going to have your non-dominant kind of in this bent shape, and your dominant is going to go like this, back and forth. Like, and this is the sign for like music, song. So you'll go song, person, singer. Sing, person. Yep. Then we have lawyer. So lawyer is going to be the sign for law, and then person. So law is going to be, I think we did this with our family signs, but we'll do it again. That L, you're going to tap it twice on your hand. So law, person, lawyer. And now let's see. Oh, wait, here we go. The next one is student. So student is going to be the sign for learn and then person. And so the sign for learn is you're going to start with your hand palm up. You're almost going to have like a little jellyfish on top. You're going to pull that jellyfish to your forehead and you go person. Learn. It's that motion of like you have a book and all the information from the book is being sucked in and going into your brain. So you're learning it. That's the
Okay, so
visual.
isn't this why? Wait, what is this?
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Why?
That's so weird. It's the same like.
It's almost like this one is like you're pulling from, you're thinking it, you know. That's the thing I love again with ASL is it's so visual. You can think like, or like forgot, which I don't know if we've done. I know that's on my list now if it's not, but like forgot is this motion of like all the information you had is gone. Like I forgot.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, I love it. I can go
And
on.
we did do forgot because I remember when we did Halloween signs, like we were talking about black.
We
were talking about all the things that happen up here.
Yeah.
That make black cat or black cauldron.
Yes.
So we have to be careful. So.
Yes. But so like forgot is like that motion of like you're pulling that information from your head and it's not there anymore. So I think it's cool how that works. All right. The next one is chef. So cook. You're going to do the same for cook. So cook is cook. And then you'll do person. Cook, person. Cook, person. Then we have counselor. So counselor is going to be a fist, and you're going to have again that like puppet hand, and you're going to push it out. Yeah. And you're gonna like, it's like you're pushing it towards the person in front of you. And this is like also like for like advice. That's kind of that motion of counselor. You need the advice in person. Then we have manager. So a manager or even like a director, those kind of things is going to be, you're gonna have these two X's. They're gonna go sideways. And you're gonna do manage person. This is also like control, the sign for like control. So like you're gonna control this. So manager, because managers usually are in control of watching the people. So control manager. Then we have server. And server is going to be the same motion, but with open hands. Server. Server. Yep. Let's see, where are we? Okay. Now, these are some words that don't have that person really added to them. They're just, you use them and that's kind of, everyone knows that that's talking about this type of career. So the first one we have is engineer. I mean, I guess you can use the person. A lot of times people don't, because usually it's kind of understood that's who you're talking about, that you're talking about a person. And so for engineer, it's going to be two Y's and you go engineer. This is also like measure. So that's where you add that person, like I'm talking about an engineer, they measure things. So engineer. The next one we have is doctor. And so doctor is going to be this kind of like bent hand, and it's going to go at the base of our palm, doctor. And this is one you don't have to add that person into. It's just doctor. Then we have nurse. And nurse is going to be the same thing, but with the two fingers and that exact same motion. Nurse. 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 Then we have police. So the sign for police, I think we've done it when we did places, but I'm gonna do it again. It's this small C and you go across and you go police. And it's like the badge. So police. Then we have firefighter. I knew I was not gonna get all the syllables in properly. And that, I've seen it two ways. I've seen that same C up here, but I've also seen firefighter with the B. Yeah, firefighter. All right, let's see, where are we? So for a person who just works like in a business firm, not really has like the more specific you get, the less likely it's going to have a sign and more you have to do like finger spelling or have multiple different signs. But if you're talking about like someone who just works in business, just a plain simple, yeah, they have a business job, you would do business person. So business is a B, you're going to go back and forth and then you go person, business person, or businessman, businesswoman, that sort of thing. Business. Excuse me. The next one we have is president. And president is always, I don't know why this one makes sense, but it just clicks and it's kind of funny to me because there's nothing to make sense with it. Is you're going to start here and you're going to go president, president. And it's like you're making the horns of like, yeah, a bull, like president. Don't know why. When I learned that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Can't even tell you why it makes sense to me. It's one of those signs that I'm just like, yeah, logically, I got it. And I'm like, but there's no connection there. President, president. And that can be for the president of the United States, the president of a company. I would suggest if you ever were talking about like the president of a company or a business to make sure you mention business president. The reason I say that is because if you just say president, there is a good chance they'll probably think you're talking about the actual president of the United States. So just to leave that little bits of confusion, I would put in before like they're the business president or they're the CEO, those sort of things.
Hey, Jillian,
Yes.
for president, is there a
Mhm.
sign for United States or would you do like US?
So there's two that I've seen. One is going to be the like you do the motion for USA, and then the other one is for America. So I'll show you both. So the first one for USA is you're going to just go in a circular motion with the letters. So you go U-S-A. So USA. Or this one, which is America. And that is you're going to have your fingers crossed. You're going to start on one side. It doesn't matter which. I knew she was going to come when I needed her not to. And you're going to go America. America.
Okay.
Cat, your tail is right in the way.
I really kind of thought you were going to do a wave.
Wave,
Which also be like really American.
I mean, it would make sense. And it also would go with like, you know, when the flag motion, but America. So if you were talking about just the president of the United States, you could do president of US. You still could do USA, or you can go president, America, American president, that sort of thing. Either way of those will work. Okay. The next, okay, I have one more job. What's the word? Job sign. And then I'll give it over to y'all to tell me any different types of jobs you can think of that might have a sign. And then if you guys are good and don't have any, we'll go on to the objects and different types of things. So the next one I have is therapist. And what you're going to do with therapist is you're going to have a T and you're going to tap it on your hand, therapist. So like how we had help, therapist with that T, which, you know, that I always think logically that usually therapists are there to help you. So help, therapist. And what you'll do is you go therapist with that person. You can just do therapist. I mean, this is therapy in itself. A lot of times I've noticed in ASL, and I think I've mentioned this before, but sometimes, you know, like, maybe I've not. In ASL, you almost have it like how in English, we don't say the sentence exactly air quote fully proper English, if you know what I mean. We have the don'ts, we have the conjunctions, we have the can'ts, won'ts. It's not like we're saying, you know, I will not be doing that today or something like that. We have more kind of that conversational sort of deal, and that can also be into ASL. For example, the sign for like student, some, you know, it's student, but some people will just go student, student, student. And that's like, they're just kind of like, it's more that conversational sign. So sometimes if you see this, it's not that it's changed. It's just, it's not going fully student. It's more student or teacher. We'll just do one, like they just do one hand, teacher. Just to give you guys kind of, if you ever see that, you know, oh, okay, that doesn't mean it's a different sign. It's just a different way of doing it. Okay, So that's why I was saying with therapists is that sometimes, like in my school setting, because we do have therapists, we do have counselors, we don't always do counselor person. We'll be like, oh yeah, they're going to the counselors or they're going to therapists, that sort of thing. Are there any other jobs that you can think of that you'd be curious of a sign if they have or not?
I
I'll leave
think
it
we
up if
did
you guys can
this
think of it.
at, in another class, I think. But what about author, writer?
That's a good one. Sorry, I was in the middle of taking a sip. So what you're going to do for author and writer is the same thing. Is you're going to do the sign for write, which is write. It's like this is your paper. Yep. And then you're writing writer, author. And so if you were going to talk about, let's see, I'm trying to think, because you would just do like a book author. You would do author, book, or book author. Trying to think of the
And what about title? Is there a sign for title, or would I just
okay? There is a sign for title. So the sign for title is also the sign for like quotes, and it's title. And this is also used for theme, like the theme of a story. The only air quote downsize for downsize, is that the right? I don't think I used the right word. Anyways, the only thing that's not great with titles is that in true ASL form, you usually fingerspell the whole title out. But so for example, like if you're saying, excuse me, The Wizard of Oz, it'd be like title, The Wizard of Oz. But some people are very lenient about that and they will just sign it instead. So trying to think of something that has a word, because Wizard of Oz, I mean, The Witch of Oz, that sort of thing. That some will do that. There are some people who will just fingerspell the entire title. But then you have books that are very long titled, and it's like, oh, okay. Like A Series of Unfortunate Events. That would take a very long handful on my hand. So, but yes, that's how you do title. Any other job signs that you guys can think of? Judge. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Again, I'm in a spinny chair. I'm trying not to move. Usually my chair has a better one than this. So the sign for judge is going to be the actual sign for also like judgment and judging. And it's going to be if you have two F's, you have them sideways, and you go judge. Judge. So this is like making the decision, judging. You can add judge person most of the time, oh yeah, she works as a judge. Kind of it gets that point. For ballerina, I have seen two ways. One being that you just sign dancer and then you fingerspell ballet. And then I did see one. Now this one I'm not as sure on. So I'm telling you, I'm giving it to you, but if it's not it, do not come back at me and go, Gillian, you lied to me. I do not want anybody to get mad at me. Is they'll do ballerina, like the motion of ballerina. So ballet or ballerina. But most of the time I just do dancer, ballet, and then fingerspelling ballet. Astronaut does have one. And so you're going to do is the sign for rocket and then person. So the sign for rocket is going to be, you're going to have an R, you're going to have it sideways on your hand, and then you go rocket. Rocket. So astronaut, rocket, person. Fun fact. So some towns will have different sign names for them, especially if they're very popular places. And the sign for Huntsville is Huntsville. It's a rocket. It's an H, but it's the Huntsville. I just think that's so cool. Some of them are very like, oh, that makes sense. And this is one of my favorites because that's where the Rocket Space and Science Center is. So for veterinarian, I usually see two ways. You either fingerspell vet, VET, or you do animal doctor. I think there are maybe a few places that will have an actual sign for veterinarian. I've just not seen them. Usually I see vet or animal doctor. My list closed. Let's see. There we go. Any others you guys can think of? Oh, clown. Oh, that was not on my list. I'm going to have to add all of these to my list. Okay. So clown is going to be clown. Clown. And it's because of the nose. Yep, clown. Mm-hmm. And that one you don't have to add person to. This one's just in itself. So clown. Any others you guys can think of? Let's see. I'll add that to my list while I chat, while we see. Clown. Astronaut. What else have you guys said? Judge. Zookeeper. Okay. So for zookeeper, what you would do is, this one's more of a describing one, is you're going to do the sign for zoo, which the sign for zoo is just finger spelling zoo, Z-O-O, zoo. And then you can do the sign for keep, and that's keep. You put 2 Ks. You're going to have, so you have your 2 Ks and you're going to have them on top of each other. And you go, so you go zoo, keep, person. Keep her. Keep, yeah, it's on top of each other. This one's probably the most awkward looking one to do in sign when you're first trying to figure it out, because it's 2 Ks on top of each other. Keeper, keeper. One I thought of is, oh, let's see. Oh, okay, there we go. My phone fell. Let me see. It's principal. So the sign for principal is going to be a P, and you're going to go principal. Principal. You have that P, and you're going to kind of make it a little bit of a motion and then go on the top. Principal. 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 Yep. Let's see. Any others you guys can think of? Try not to knock down. There we go. Any others? It's always nice to have young ones in here because they think of so many different types of jobs. Usually when I ask, everyone's like, I don't know. I know my job and that's it. Or I know mine's not going to have a good like sign. So a lot of times people don't ask. I guess another one I could do is specialist, or like professional. And there are 2 ways to do that. Oh, okay. One of them is going to be Sorry, I'm trying to remember if it's 1 finger or 4 fingers. It's a P, specialist, professional. So like if you're talking about she's a, I don't know, I'm just gonna make up one. A legal specialist. You would do legal specialist. And that is not like, this is not the sign for special. So it's not going to be one of those where you can use it for special or specialist. It's separate. They're different ones. So, okay. Are y'all good on jobs? Y'all ready to move on to different objects? Okay, perfect. So the first, there you go. I knew my phone was going to go again. All right. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to do chair. And we're also with chair, we're also going to do the sign for sit because those 2 are connected. So that will, and it will make sense once I show. So the sign for chair is you're going to have 2 H's and you're going to tap them on top, chair. And you want to make sure both of them are like flat. So instead of them being like this, because this is name, you want them flat. And then you go chair, and then you tap them on top. Chair. For the sign for sit, oh, excuse me, sorry, I was about to sneeze. I could feel it. Is for chair or sit, you're going to just do 1 time. Sit. So chair will be 2, sit is 1. And that is, again, if you guys remember from way back on our 2nd week, when we did today and then now, it's that sort of motion. So chair, sit. Then we have table. So the sign for table is going to be table. And that's any type of table. So any type of desk, table, those sort of things. Then we have pen/pencil, which those are the same sign. If you really need like a pen, usually you'll do which we did earlier was pen or pencil. Excuse me. The way to really make a difference between pencil and pen is if you need a pen is finger spelling, pen or pencil. That's how you tell the difference. Then we have, let's see, door. So the sign for door is going to be two B's. They're going to be close together. And if you're talking about it opening, you're going to go door open or door open, whichever way, but you're going to make that motion of them opening. If you're talking about doors being closed or closing doors, you go close, door, or door. And this one I tend to really recommend visually thinking like how the door is. So if you're talking about double doors that open up like this, then I would use, I open and I see. If you're talking about there's just one door, like a front door, it's just one door. That's visually very important for setting up, air quote, the scene. So that way everyone knows where you're talking about, what you're talking about. Let's see. The next one is window. So window is going to be two B's. And you're going to have them on top of each other, window. You're going to tap them, window. If you want the window open, you go window. You tap and then you pull it up. If you want the window closed, you go you close it. Window, close. Window, close. Then let's see. We have lights. So the sign for lights, and this is not the sign for like light color, light blue, that sort of thing. This is for the actual light itself, which is shining right in my face. And it's going to be light. You're gonna make like an 8 and you're gonna flick it under your chin, light. And then if you want lights on, you'll go light, start them closed puppets, and then open. Lights on. On. And then lights off will be lights off. Think of the motion of like when you turn on the lights, it's like the lights are just flowing on you. And then if you turn them off, they're going away. Let's see. We did clothes like dress, pants, shirt last week. That's okay. Some of them are the same ones, and that's why I'm looking. I'm like, which ones have we done and which ones haven't we? The sign for trash, like trash can or trash, is going to be, you have your fist up. You're going to start kind of like in the middle of your arm, and you're going to go trash, 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 or trash can. Most of the time you just say trash or trash can. And if you need to make a difference of showing that you need a trash can, like, sorry, I should have can. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go on to some more verbs. Different types of just simple verbs that are kind of or common verbs, I guess. So the first one is said or say, and you're gonna go said. Now I know we did disappointed last week, and that was disappointed. Said is like said, tapped, or it's like I said I wanted blah 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 blah. Said. It's not usually your face is going to show when I'm disappointed or I said this. The next one is tell or told, and you're going to go tell. And this one again is going to go to directions. So if you're talking about a person who's right here and I'm telling this person I want them to go talk to them, I told them, I'll be like, I told them, yes, blah, 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 blah. You want to make sure you're telling the correct one. If you're talking about, I want you to tell them that, you would go like, you tell them, you tell. The next one is ask, which I can't remember if we did or not, so I'm gonna do it again. There are about 2 ways. There's multiple ways you can do ask. There are 2 that I can think of right now that are good. One of them is I'll show, it's kind of, it depends on the situation. So the first one is ask, like request, and that's ask. So you kind of like open your hands and like they're coming in. Ask. Then the next one is you're going to make this like a question mark. Ask. So see, I'm making that question mark with my finger. Ask. If you need them to, if you're telling someone to ask them, why, I need you to go ask them, you say ask. So you ask her. If you're talking about, oh, ask me towards you. So, or like, I need to ask you a question. I've asked you. Ask. That one's another directional one that you gotta think about, who is actually asking the question, who's answering it. Oh, another one for ask is like, if you're asking a lot of questions, it's question. It's this, and you're just making a lot of, it's like you're throwing too many questions. Like, I'm sorry, I keep asking you so many questions, or you're asking me too many questions. Hold off. The next one is repeat. And again, I think we did this one. We're going to do it again. My list blends very fast in these words. So repeat or again, repeat. The next one is need. Like, I need something, and you're going to go need. I think we did this one. I think last week we finished earlier and we went to ahead some of these. I'm sitting here, I'm like, I feel like we did that one. And I apologize, we're going over them again. But when I go ahead, I don't keep up with it. And then I forget which ones we've already gone ahead with. So it's a nice little refresher review. So we have our need and then must, that one tab, like must happen. The next one is can. So can is going to be 2 S's and you're going to go can. Can. For can't, there are 2 ways you can do it. Is you can do can not, or you can do can't. It's just, you kind of have your pointer finger hit the other one. Can't. Then the next one is want, and that is going to have kind of open hand fist, and you go want. For don't want, that's again like how can't is, so you can go don't want, or you can do don't want. Like you got it and you're throwing away. I don't want this. Don't want. We didn't do sports last week, correct? Okay, good. I was sitting here and it was like going through my head again, and I was like, wait, that sounds familiar. Just having those moments. I apologize. Because we did stop. We did do stop last week. Okay. So now we're going to go on to sports. And so the first sign is going to be sports itself, which is sports. Then we have the sign for game, which is game. Then the sign for challenge, like it's a like I'm challenging you. This is a challenging game. Is going to be challenge. So game is more just kind of basic, like smaller, like game, and then challenge. Then we have, nope, stop. There we go. Champ, like the champion. And that is, there are 2 ways you can do that. And it's going to be champ. So it's like a 3 bent fingers and you go on top of your pointer finger. Champ, or win/celebrate champions, like, and that is 2 X's and you're going to go celebrate. Champions. Yep. Now we're on to the actual sports. So the next one is so the first one is basketball. Basketball can be done. There's a few different ways I've seen them. One is basketball. With the 3 basketball, like you're holding the ball, basketball. Another one is basketball. Like you're making that layup or that shot. I never played basketball, so don't judge me if I don't know the terms properly. And then there's like another like basketball, like open hand. I see more this basketball and this than I do this. Then we have football. So football is going to be football. You're going to have them kind of cross into each other, football. And this is like the motion of these are all the players running towards each other, football. That's also for the actual sign for football, like the football itself is football, and then you do ball. So football. The next one we have is soccer, and soccer is going to be soccer, and it's like it's kicking it, soccer. Soccer. Then the next one is volleyball, and volleyball is going to be volleyball, and it's like the motion of you're hitting the volleyball. Or the another option is volleyball, flicking the 8s, volleyball. So like what we did with our chin, yeah, volleyball. This one I do see more. I was taught this one first. That's why I always do this one. But excuse me, this one I see more, and I think it's because this one can be easily confused with what you're talking about, because it can also mean you're just being like praise, yay, so happy. And this is very clearly volleyball. The next one is baseball, and that is baseball. It's like you're holding the baseball bat in your hand, baseball. And you're about to swing baseball. The next one is golf. This one, it's hard to tell. Pretend you're holding a golf club and you're about to swing, golf. So yeah, golf. It's like I have mine lower down, but golf, yeah. Then we have frisbee, and that's frisbee. Then we have track. This is one we didn't, this one wasn't on my list, but I remember this one. So track is going to be 2 T's, and you're going to go track. Track. Okay. All right. My phone is just acting like a fool. Any other sports that you guys can think of? Let's see, where was I? There we go. Any sports? Bike riding. Okay. So for that one, you would do the sign for bike, which is bike. And if you're talking about like a bike riding competition or something like that, that's when I would add bike, sports, or like a bike game sort of thing. That kind of like, I would almost sort of describing it, bike, competition, that sort of thing, if that makes sense. Any other sports you guys can think of? I'm trying to think of some as well. I think we've always done tennis, mentioned tennis, like the racket tennis. That one's not on my list that I need to add. Swimming. Have we done swimming? No, that's a good one. There we go. So swimming is going to be the sign for just swim, which is swimming. Swimming. You can go swimming with the actual motion or swimming, whichever way. Oh, team. Because like swim team, track team, that's what I was thinking of. So the sign for team is similar to how we do the sign for family in class and group. It's going to be those T's, and you go team. So you start kind of like them together and make a circle, team. Hockey has one. Hockey, which one is it? Oh man, hockey. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check on that one, because that one is like, it's somewhere here. I know it's with these little skis, because this is skating, like skating, And so that's why I'm like, I know it's there somewhere. Oh, let me put that on here. That one's I definitely one I need to check. Where did I put this? Let's see. Hockey. Oh, no. All right. There we go. What's the next one? Diving. So diving is just diving. That you making like it's like you're making the motion of diving. Diving. Let's see. Win or lose. So the sign for win is you're gonna go win. You start with these X's, and you're gonna have your dominant come on top. Win. It's like you come on top. We won the game. Lose, there are two ways you can do it. I see this one more often. Lost. You start with an open hand and you close in a fist and go away. Lost. Lost. There's another one is like this, like failed, but that one can be easily, there's another word for it, another word that's not so nice, it could come off as, and then there's also like master's program that's in there, so that one's kind of a more confusing one. That's why I said lost. If you were going to talk about the score, or I guess the points, you can do one way, which is what I tend to do, is the goal, and it's goal. Like this is the sign for goal. This is the sign for any type of goal. Like my goal is to be here. My goal is this. The goal points, I'll tap on it. Like points is like 7 and 5, 7 and 8, 6. I don't know. I'm not signing the numbers right. Anyways, 7 and 6. When you're doing points, you usually for your team, if you're on a team, like if it's your favorite team, you'll tend to have the number, kind of put the number in front of you, like 8, and then the opposite team's away. So 6, 8 and 6. So we're losing, we're winning, that kind of thing. All righty. Any other sports signs that you guys can think of? I've been trying to think of how you would describe, and if you were watching like a game, how you would describe it to someone. So I'm thinking that's it for sports. If there's any others, let me know. The last few signs I have are, one of them is, well, these two are know, don't know, understand, and don't understand. And then there's like 3 just kind of random ones. So know, like as in I know, is no. So you just tap your head, no. And then don't know is going to be don't know. Or it can be no, not, like I don't know. Not, that not, no, I don't know. Some people will do this as well, as they'll just go, I don't know. Like they don't do the motion of don't know or not know. They'll just go, I don't know. Like they shake their head, I don't know. I tend to go, don't know. For me, that's just something that helps visually. For me, that's more clear to me. But for some people, don't know works just as well. The next one is understand, and that's understand. Understood. For don't understand, not understand, or I don't understand. And this one I actually do the shake my head no with. So I don't understand. I love how with don't know, I'm like, no, you've got to go. I need you to know this motion is for don't know. And then for understand, I'm like, I don't understand. I'll shake my head, especially if like I'm talking to someone and they're really like confusing me, and they look at me and they go, do you understand? And I look at them, I just start laughing. I'm like, nope. I just keep flicking. I'm like, nope, there's nothing. So don't understand or don't understand. Okay. And then the last 3 I have is, one is the sign for Alabama, because Alabama does have its own sign. And it's going to be, you're going to do A-L-A, Alabama. And you can do it fast where it's just Alabama. It's like you're bouncing your pointer finger back and forth. Alabama. Then the next one is movie. if you were going to go watch a movie, and that's movie, movie, movie. Not to be confused with cheese, it's movie. This one's such a similar, like they're so similar and so different, like so similar, but like their English are so different. It's very easy to mistake. Most of the time that's context clues. So like you're not going to be saying, well, I want a hamburger with a movie on it. You're going to be like, I want a hamburger with cheese on it, or I'm talking about a cheeseburger, not a movie burger. So, and then you typically don't go places that have cheese, like the cheese place. You go to the movies. If you are going to like a store that only has cheese, I would recommend saying cheese store. That way it's very clearly understood you're talking about a store of cheese. So that's just my suggestion. And then the last sign I have is the sign for more. And the sign for more is more. And you're just tapping them. Yeah, more. Now we have 10 minutes left. Are there any other signs that you can think of that you would like to know? They obviously don't have to be related to the sports or the theme. They can be any signs you would like to know or curious of. This also can be questions for any deaf culture questions you have that you're, just curious about, any of that sort. And while y'all do that, I'm gonna take a water break. Perfect timing. Okay, that's some good ones. So Miss Katie put down 2 questions. One being, are you deaf? And then the other one being, do you know ASL? So what you would do if you were going to ask someone, are you deaf? Is you can do, there's 2 ways you can do them. And really it's just the reverse. So one would be going, you deaf, or being deaf, you. Like, are you deaf? Either way would work. And then the one for ASL, do you know ASL? You would do ASL, so you would finger spell ASL, no. And here's where the question is not, it's not gone. It's just kind of, it's in the sign, the way you're signing it. So ASL, you know, or ASL, no. This eyebrows up and down, or, being like, do you know ASL? Because if I went ASL, no, this is me saying, yeah, I know it. I know ASL. But if you did ASL, no, or ASL, that would be how you'd ask. So, yeah, for dream and sleep. So the sign for sleep is going to be sleep. It's like our wolf, but it's coming down. Sleep. And then dream is going to be, you're going to start at your forehead, the side, and you go dream. This also can be for daydream, which sometimes I will sit there because it'll be one of those days where I didn't get a lot of sleep. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, kind of just blinking a lot in class after a rough moment. And the kids will look at me, are you dreaming? Are you dreaming? And I look at them like, I'm not dreaming. I just needed a minute to myself, but they'll always be like, you dreaming? Are you dreaming? I'm like, no. So our dream. Any other signs you guys can, or words you guys can think of that you would like to know the signs for? Flower. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe we've not done the sign for flower. So the sign for flower is going to be our hand puppet. You're going to start on one side of your nose and you're going to go flower. 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 For like a rose, most of them you have to finger spell, but rose I have seen a few people do, and it's with the R, rose. That one again is more that signing exact English. So usually in ASL it's just flower and then you finger spell, but there are some people that will do rose. Flowers. I'm trying to think of some other ones that like we didn't do. Oh, excuse me. Any that y'all can think of. I'm trying to think of the flower. Oh, tree. Tree. So the sign for tree is tree. So you're gonna have like your hand on top, and then you go tree. You like wiggle your fingers, tree. If you're talking about a forest, you would do forest. Like you would do the same motion for, well, y'all can't see. I'm gonna pull back awkward so you can see it, but you do this and you go across. Forest, like there's just trees everywhere. Forest. Let's see. I know one, but I think we did. I don't think we have. It's princess, prince and princess. So what you'll do is you'll do a P. You'll start here at the top and you're going to go diagonally down. So it's almost like you have like a ribbon across you. Princess, princess. You can add person to it if you want. But this also can just be princess or prince. To make the difference, if you're talking about a boy or girl, like a princess or prince, you would do that boy, prince, or girl, princess. But usually, like if you're talking in a big group and you're saying, well, I'm going to dress up as a princess for Halloween, be like me, dress up as a princess. It's kind of, that's almost understood. So I don't have to do girl, princess. It's usually if you're talking about someone who's not there and they're not familiar with who they are, then you would say she's a girl princess or a boy princess. That. For king and queen, very similar. They're very much so. You're going to do the same thing. You'll do a Q. And then, sorry, the cat's back there just like meowing away. But you're going to start with the Q down here and go across the same motion, queen. And then king is going to be the K and you go across, king. Then the sign for rainbow is going to be, you have these, your four fingers kind of open and you go rainbow, rainbow, rainbow. If you're talking about the whole motion of the rainbow, it's rainbow with both hands. If you're talking about, those, we'll see the corner rainbows, it's rainbow, rainbow, both work. Give me 1 second. This cat is just begging to be out. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay, we're back. Any other signs that you guys are curious about or words? Puppet. So for puppet, it's puppet. This can also be the sign for if someone just keeps talking and keeps, going on and on, or yapping about it, blah, 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 that kind of motion. It can be that as well. If you're talking about like a puppet show, I'd probably do puppet show, performance, like performance, act, show. Oh, any others you guys can think of? I can think of one that went with just what I was saying, show. So if you're talking about telling someone to show you something or show them something, you'll put your pointer finger at the base of your hand. And if I'm showing you something, I'm going to go show. If I want you to show me something, I would go show. Like I bring it away from me and come towards, or start away and then come towards me, show. For cloud, that was one we should have actually done last week because it goes with confused. I kept thinking, I was like, we did that one, but we didn't. And it's cloud. Cloud. And it's because, this is confused. And so cloud's going to be up. Cloud. Cloud. Any others? Trying to think. For, I guess, well, here, computer and laptop, because we are on those. So laptop is easy. It's laptop. It's like that motion of opening it up. Computer is going to be computer. So that's C, and you're going to go computer. Computer. So laptop, computer. Seashell. So I have not seen a sign for a seashell. I finger spell it. More than happy to ask and check and see though, because that is one that I wonder if they would have one or not. So seashell. There we go. Okay. Any others you guys can think of? Did we ever do stars? I don't know if we did, because that one's, it's similar to socks.
When we talked about socks.
Yeah.
But that's the only time, like we haven't done space type stuff. You know, we didn't like planets or stuff like that.
Unfortunately, most of the planets do not have name signs. So that's probably why we have not done any planets. But stars is stars. And it's up. Yeah. Stars. But planet, the sign for planet, I'll do that since we're here, is going to be a P on top, and you go planet. Planet, and you go around it. Yep. Planet. And then the sign for Earth itself is Earth. 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 But unfortunately for like Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, all of those do not have signs. For shooting star, I would make the motion of star like that. I'd be like star motion, like it moved across. So star went across. But if all else fails, finger spelling shooting star works as well. I'm trying to think of, there's the sun and the moon. Those are space. Y'all give me space one. I'm in the space mode right now. So sun is going to be, you're going to start with it out here and you're going to go sun, sun, sun. And then moon is going to be that seesaw motion, starts at your eye and you're going to go moon, like you go up, moon, moon. So yeah. Any last other ones you guys can think of? Or you think you guys good? Any questions?
You can ask again. Can you, I know I asked that before and then I didn't write it down, that app that you recommended to actually do the stuff?
Yes. So the one that I have, that I use is called Spread the Sign. Here, I'll type it in. Spread. Ooh, can I type this properly? Spread the Sign. And then there is also a website called Signing Savvy. That's a good one as well. And then there was, I don't know if you were typed down the man's name, Bill Vickers, that he's on YouTube and he's got these really good videos of ASL. It's good practice. And he has this, it's called, his whole thing is called Life Print. That's like what the group is called. But if you type in Bill Vickers, it'll show his videos. And he, again, is the one who does, where he will have videos of him teaching a person sign and they're learning it too. So it's not like they already know it and it's easy and simple. Like they're going to do the similar mistakes that most people when learning ASL is going to do. And he really, it helps you get a little bit of better familiarization of like where your hands need to be and that sort of thing. So he's a good one to check as well, because most of the signs you will know, but it's a good almost like refresher and like practice, because you can watch him and almost try to take a guess of what his is first. So like you can look at him sign and go, or he might say the word and you'll be like, okay, wait, no, wait, what's the sign for that? Oh, that's right. And then check. So, but yeah, those are some good resources, I would think. And then Miss Katie, don't we have some good resources at the library too?
So upstairs on the second floor, we've got a couple of ASL workbooks. We've got a dictionary. I want to say we have a couple of other books that are not, I guess they're more about signing and deaf culture and not necessarily like exactly, dictionaries or workbooks, but we've also got some online things that might be of interest. The other thing I wanted to say before we close is if y'all want to come back and take another class, or if you ever have any questions, you're welcome to email me and I can let you know when the next class starts up, or I can send a message to Gillian and say, hey, we have a question. And so we're always here as a resource. So
Do you usually, when you do the class, cover the same materials? Or do you like have special times when you like, I don't know, for like special topics or anything that you do classes for too?
we haven't done special topics or advanced really. This class is the same, but we have had classes where people have had questions about their particular job or particular interest. So the signs change, but we do the same type of signs. So like only the October people get Halloween. There are a couple of classes like that are, that are just come up in that series or session. And the other thing we've talked about and just have not, I think we're finally far enough out of COVID that we could talk about it, is that we would have a get together at the library where we could sign in person with each other and kind of practice, but we haven't gotten there yet. But if you keep an eye on the library happenings and
Careful, Henry.
I'll keep you guys on my email list. So when we do something in the future, you'll get info about it.
Mama.
That'd be great.
I have one more.
Okay,
It would be great. Hey,
cool.
do you like do anything specific for kids? I've kind of noticed like Zana is like really into it for like about the first 30 minutes, but then like the second half, it gets really hard to like, just keep the attention span going. But like when you have like this like free just ask questions and words, then she'll be more engaged again. So if you have anything specific for kids, I've seen that Homework is actually right now doing kids ASL once a month, and I don't even know how long it is. I think it's in person, but we haven't been there yet since we were doing this. So I was wanting to check that out and kind of see with her. But if y'all have something for kids at some point in time, just definitely keep us
For sure. And I'll mention it to our children's librarian. Gillian, I think you did a program with them at one point. It wasn't a series of lessons, but she did a program with the children's department, and that might be something that they would be interested in the future. And so yeah, just keep an eye on the website, and I'll pass that on to Gloria too. And yeah, it might come to pass. So keep paying attention to what we've got going on, and anything ASL related, I would email to everybody anyway. So okay, do you have any other questions? Or it was so fun to have y'all in class.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really
Y'all
had
were
fun.
awesome.
That was great.
Yeah.
It was fun. I love always having the kids that are coming in and watching it, because I always get very excited when I see younger kids watching and learning sign language, because they can pick it up so much faster than we can. And it's always really cool to see it. And, also I love when they will ask questions, because, some adults tend to be very like, I don't know, but kids are like, oh, I want to know this one and this, like they just throw signs, and I'm like, yes, give me all of them. I will write them down. I will sign them. If not, I will find them for you. So I love having them in the class. All righty. Well, excuse me. If you guys don't have any other questions, I'll say we will finish. Like Miss Katie said, if you ever do end up having any more questions, or you want to have kind of like a refresher just to kind of practice and see, you're more than welcome to join class. You can also email Miss Katie, and she will let me know of any questions you have, and then I can either mention them in our class that we have the next time, or I can do a video or describe it in an email best as possible. So even though this class is finished, does not mean that we're just going to leave you out there and be like, all right, we're done, bye-bye. You're more than welcome to join in anytime. So well, I hope you guys Oh, thank you guys. I hope you guys had a great time, and I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving break and week. So happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you guys hopefully sometime soon. Bye, guys.